You know, I've always considered you, you know, the greatest of all time as far as, you know, broadcasting within radio is considered. And one thing that I'm sure Ida's son is proud of is to say that he was amongst another GOAT, you know, by the name of Tupac Amaru Shakur, who I'm sure we'll both agree, you know, his influence and impact, you know, is still remain untouched in the game, as we were saying earlier, you know. What was one thing that you learned from him, probably the most powerful thing that you learned from him while being around Pac? Is there a Tupac story that you can share with us?
Yeah, man. One is, I remember when I was bodyguarding the Far Side, we were in SeaTac, like Seattle, Tacoma, Washington. Okay. And we were doing this festival. The festivals back then were like, there was like radio festivals and shit like that. Not like how we got crazy ass festivals now. But I remember it was 30,000 people there. And this is like, I get around Tupac, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I knew Pac, you know, early on. And so we went on, and Pac was supposed to go on last, but Pac was like, oh man, you know, let me get on. So Pac, boom, he rushed the stage, he started doing his shit, crowd goes fucking crazy, right? Far Side get on, at that time it's passing me by, Panama, boom, everybody go fucking crazy. So at the end of the concert, they're the last two groups. So Pac jumped into our van with us, you know what I'm saying? And Pac was very influential back then too, you know? So the girl that was driving us, Pac is a fucking mega star at this moment too. You know what I'm saying? This is like, Pac is like, oh shit. And so when he got in the van with us, we had the same driver coming up. Then he came in and he said, like, man, I'm gonna drive back with y'all. All right, cool. So I got Pac in the van, got Far Side in the van. We're in traffic, right? So you could tell that our driver's tripping like, oh shit, this is Tupac. And so Pac was like, oh, hey, baby girl, whatever the words were back then. Hey, baby, get over and just get in the other lane. So he told her to get in the other lane because the traffic was so backed up. He told her to get in the other lane and just drive and then try to jump back in somewhere. So it's Pac. She fuck around and she do it. Fool, she's driving. We talking. I'm sitting next to her. She's driving. I'm shotgun. Everybody's in the back in a passenger van. And so as we're driving, we look and it's the fucking police standing there blocking cars. This motherfucker looked at us like, are y'all fucking serious? So as soon as she starts, she can't get back over, he just waves her in, right? So now Pac totally like, oh shit, yeah, I just heard this. You know what I'm saying? And so they pulled us over. I get out, you know, trying to tell the police, hey, you know, I got the two headliners in the van. That, you know, he's not listening. All right, cool, I get back in. They start talking to her, get her license, so on and so forth. So now we're kind of just caught up and we're parked. And I remember Pac was sitting at the window, and there was some people that started to see, oh, that's Tupac Far Side in this van right here. So I remember Pac went to go light this joint up, right? And there was a little girl there. She's probably about 8 years old. And I remember she said, oh, he's smoking up. And he put his hand out the window and he grabbed her. And he pulled her closer to his window, and he told her, he said, hey, he said, now you saw me about to do something I shouldn't have done. And he said, but that's gonna be our secret. I didn't do it. And he talked to her about, but it was one-on-one, and I remember she was looking like, and he gave her a special moment. And I thought that it was so precious the way he spoke to her and the way he told her, you saw me doing something I shouldn't have done. And he gave her a message, and he held her hand, and it wasn't like, get over here. You know, it was like, oh, hey. And then he held her, and you know, and the way that he spoke to her, wasn't cameras, wasn't nobody, but I'm sitting here noticing how beautiful this moment is. Not posthumous after he passed. At that moment, I saw how special that was. And as I tell this story, and I've told it before, I know that little girl tells that same story now. You know what I'm saying? In her 30s. telling that story, you know, that same story. You know?
She ever find you? Or you ever,
No, man, no, not at all. But that's her story. Like, she's probably told somebody, like, girl, you lying. And hopefully somewhere they'll be like, man, I heard Big say the same shit. You know what I'm saying? But just special moments like that, man. And another time we were at In Living Color, that's when he beat up the limousine driver and they held us all in the fucking Fox, you know, parking lot, you know, studio lot. But now, Pac, oh man, I remember one time, dude, we were somewhere on the road and it was some dudes, and I'm sitting here and I'm listening to these dudes talk shit about Pac.
Right.
Oh man, fuck that, fucking. And then Pac walks into the lobby. And as soon as he walked in, he started, you know, walking over. And they like, Pac, what's up, man? Oh, shit, what up, Pac? And they was like, come here. And he said, nah, y'all come here. And they got up and walked their little punk asses over there to him, taking pictures and shit. And I remember I told Pac, I said, man, I'm glad you told them motherfuckers to walk over there to you. I said, whatever the words were back then, like they were burning you up, whatever the words were, they're talking shit. But I told him, like, hey, man, they're talking shit. You know, like, man, and I don't know if you felt the vibe from it, but he told them, no, y'all come over here, you know, and they got their bitch asses up and walked over there.
Yeah,
you know,
right. And you know, as a veteran of the hip hop culture, I mean, I'm pretty, like, especially, you know, within radio, you know, I'm pretty sure you've seen, like, you know, a lot of artists, you know, come and go within the game and things of that nature. But who are some of your personal favorites? Who does Big go and listen to, you know, when he's not broadcasting on
when I'm not broadcasting, I don't really listen to shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I listen to something, for one, I don't listen to nothing on the playlist. You know what I'm saying? And that's just because if I worked at fucking McDonald's, I wouldn't get off work and be like, hey man, let's go get that Big Mac. You know what I'm saying? I'll be far removed from that shit because I consume it every day. So I don't get off, and as soon as I get in my car, I'm like, oh, put that Drake on that I just played. You know what I'm saying? Put When You Can Meet Me at the London, like nah, I'm not playing that. So if I go nostalgia, I go Old Cube. You know, Old Dog. Then, as Jose know, I fucking rock Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish.
Okay.
Like, cats that roll with me, when they hear what I play in the car, they like, this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I listen literally to everything. You'll get in my car, bro, and you'll hear fucking Mr. Bojangles from Sammy Davis Jr. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta consume so much more because my show is so universal that I love hip hop, and I love hip hop more than any motherfucker. Like, I'm a child of hip hop, homie. You know what I'm saying? I purchased hip hop. I went to the first hip hop concerts. No one can really sit with me and out hip hop and rap shit that I, you know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't dream of.
So, but when I'm in the car, I stay away from a lot unless it's something that I'm like, oh, okay, this is in my playlist. Will I rock some Kanye? Yeah, I rock some Kanye, but certain songs from Kanye. Will I rock Drake? I'll rock some Drake, but I don't get in the car playing that shit. You gonna get in, you gonna hear like some fucking Rakim. You gonna hear shit. You'll hear, you know, like Snoop hit just that Doggy Style album. Like, I'll go to that if we rolling. You know what I'm saying?
Can't go wrong.
Dub C if I'm rolling. You know what I'm saying? Yes, America's Most Wanted with Cube when we rolling.
Classic.
And then there's other times I'll fuck around and you'll be like, man, you listening to Chris Stapleton, you know, Tennessee Whiskey.
Yeah, I listen to a universal mindset when it comes to.
Yeah, but I fuck with hip hop that gave me something. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying?
Can't blame you for that. You know, all of those you just can't go wrong with. I'm the same way. I have to keep a universal mindset.
You know what I'm saying? Ice-T is my motherfucker. Like, Melly Mel is one of my favorite MCs. Like, that kind of shit.
Yes, sir. One person who has successfully entered and you know and come in is our brother Tay F3rd. You know, who I'm sure you'll agree. You know, he's a great artist and even better person.
Hard worker too, man.
Oh, I agree. You know, I've had the honor of working with him and sitting with him and talking with him as well. Can you share the story about how y'all first met?
I don't even know how I first met Tay. fucking piece of shit. No, I don't know, man. You know, I just know, like, Tay has been working hard, bro. And that motherfucker has seen a lot of his peers go. And especially off of when people say jerk, you know, oh man, that jerk movement, that jerk. Like, dude, Tay is the fucking jerk foundation. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And I think now there's the outliers. There's your 10,000 hours. I think Tay is putting in or put in his 10,000 hours. And I think that Tay F3rd, I think that his moments are around the corner. You know what I'm saying? Especially what we got, that was something that we're seeing now. His moments are around the corner. He's been so true to Tay F3rd and to Long Beach and to Big Boy Music that you got to do right. We got to do right by him, because he's been loyal to the soil for years, bro. And he hasn't been eating off of Big Boy Music. He hasn't been eating off of my accolades. He's been out there grinding, man.
Yes, sir. He's been putting in his own work. You know?
Hell yeah.
You know, I'm excited. You know, me and him have something coming. So.
Oh, really though? Oh, okay, so that's a loaded question. All right, we'll talk to Brother Steve about the releases, the paperwork and shit. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. But you know, I come from one great to another. You know what I mean? Like I said, I will always consider you, you know, a true great. You know what I mean? But I feel like behind.
So you great.
I'll take your word for it.
No, you said from one great to another.
No, I'm talking about from Tay.
Oh, okay. I don't know what the fuck was going on. What up, Monica?
So, but you know, but I feel like behind every great is usually a wise man, a wise mentor who deserves acknowledgement. You know, for instance, you know, we look at Bruce Lee as probably the greatest martial artist that ever lived to this day, and what most people may not know is he was taught a lot by a gentleman by the name of Ip Man. You know, does Big Boy have an Ip Man?
Yeah, Ida Alexander.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes, sir.
I didn't have to go nowhere for, you know, people say, oh, they got role models. I didn't have to go outside my household, homie. And I knew it then. You know what I'm saying? My all in all was Ida Alexander, my mom. That's who, when people say, man, I want to be like, man, my mom was the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew in life my mom was the shit.
Yes,
so I didn't need no fucking boxers and basketball. Whoever you get is fine. I didn't need it. You know what I'm saying? I saw a lady that got up with 7 kids and loved all of us equally.
Yes, sir.
I saw a lady that got up and worked graveyard and putting polish on her shoes, and her shoes would literally crack because she had to get 7 pair of shoes for her kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mom put it all up for her kids, bro. And so there was nobody that I ever looked at that was bigger than my mom. So that was even when we were homeless, Cal, I remember I told my mom, I said, Mom, I want to be famous. You know what I'm saying? And I remember I got her checkbook, and her checks were worth nothing because we were broke, we were homeless. And I remember I wrote a check and I gave it to her, and I said, Mom, one day I'm gonna have that much money. And she looked at it, she said, I know you will, baby. And it was $1 million check. And she could have looked at it and been like, oh, Kurt, come on, you know, I don't want to hear this shit. And I remember when I told her I wanted to be an actor, she went out and got me all these acting books. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yes, sir.
Who does that? You know what I'm saying? Some parents or some people would say, you need to get more realistic. Or just look around you. What are you talking about? There's 8 of us in this square room right here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But she painted such a broad picture for her kids, and I saw the artwork. I saw how powerful my mom was. And then once I got older, Cal, I also started to look at, damn, maybe my mom, as strong as I thought my mom was, maybe she was scared too. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a grown man and I think about my kids like, man, I'll fucking kill you for my kids. And I mean really kill you, like definition for my kids. I know that my mom had to worry 7 times over for each one of her kids.
Absolutely.
And when we thought, you know, she was a shield of protection, it was only one woman. And I'm thinking now like, damn, you had to be scared. You had to be, you know, but you know, we're pit bulls, so you touch our kids, we're gonna fucking kill you.
Exactly.
But I remember one time I was driving home, bro, and I was getting off the freeway and I just pulled over and I was start crying. And I was like, Mom, now I understand. You know, I had my kids, and it wasn't like we had a shitty relationship and I was like, oh, I wish you were here so I could tell you, you know what I'm saying? I just really was like, wow, like this shit, not that it's overwhelming, but okay, I really understand what you did. So I didn't have to go outside. You know, I didn't have to have a hitman behind me. I had a hit woman. I had an idol. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I wish everybody had it. You know?
You know what? I think that's one of the beautiful things that a parent can do is allow their kids to dream and manifest, you know, for themselves. You know?
Man.
And
you can suffocate. You can suffocate. And if it's not just your kids, you can suffocate somebody else's dream, man. Like, what you want to do that for? Why you want to, what you talking about? You know?
Yes,
like, I don't know. You probably could tell somebody like, man, I'm going to sit with Big Boy. Like, man, why are you trying to get him? You know what I'm saying? And you didn't know till you asked. You know what I mean? Like you could have talked yourself off of this interview too. Like, cause we kill shit on the vine. Like, man, I ain't gonna do that shit. I ain't gonna do that.
Like I said, when the opening, man, I just appreciate you, you know, making the time, man, and
brother.
like blessing me with it, you know. And I definitely feel like, you know, you're one of the people who can truly say, you know, like, you know, you've been there, done that. You know, I feel like there's nobody that you haven't interviewed, you know, within the past 25 years that you've been in the game. But is there something in your career that you would like to accomplish or do that you haven't yet?
Man, I haven't met Oprah yet.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and not that that's a hella accolade, but I'm like, damn, I ain't met Oprah. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if I see her, so I'm gonna say, hey, Oprah, then I'll be like, I did that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like fuck that. But no, you know what, man? There's when we talk about evolution too, though, Cal, there's like you start to think about what you're doing with the microphone too. You know what I'm saying? Are you doing the right things with the microphone? Are you doing the right things with your audience? What kind of message are you spreading? Right. You know what I'm saying? So just you start to double and triple down on, you know, what you want these next 5 years to be. You know, how you want to be perceived, what messages you want to get out. You know, so I think that's what I'll continue to work on is branding, you know, and try to be the best me that I can be.
You know, looking up to you, you know, and as one of my biggest inspirations a lot of my life, I know that there's a lot of people who would love to reach your status, you know, within radio, you know, one day. What would your best piece of advice that you can give them, you know, for anyone who would love to, you know, enter your realm in radio and reach your level of where you're at?
I usually tell people, man, that you gotta be the best you can be. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're a piece of shit, nobody gonna want to fuck with you anyway, unless they have to. You know, and that's not because people love you. It's because they fear you or some bullshit. So I always tell people say, man, how do I get into radio? I'm like, well, meet the Baker Boys. That's how I met them. That's how I got it. You know, but no, real shit, man. It's like I tell people, man, you gotta work on you and you gotta be the best character you could be, because character is what's being said about you when you're not in the room. You know, and you got to be ready for when the opportunity pops too. You gotta be prepared. You know what I'm saying? You gotta if you're gonna get into something, know what you're getting into. Work hard, but I say also build yourself. And when I speak of character, that's real shit, because when I first got put on, the Baker Boys was like, you know, opportunity came up through their boss Rick Cummins, and Rick was like, hey, you know, I had a hip-hop line that told you like where to go to, and you know, like, hey, you know, it was called What Up, and I guess their boss used to call that and listen. And he said, you know, bring me this guy, but he asked, you know, pretty much, you know, who is he? Oh, that's Big Boy, that's this, that, so on and so forth, right? Now, if I hadn't been a genuine person, they would have said, man, but you don't want to fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to fuck with him. He's more product than profit. He's scandalous, whatever it may be. But I was pure enough for them to say, nah, you know, here's his number, just shoot him a call. So it's not about being good or being whatever in radio, because if people enjoy what I do in radio because of me, I'm me. So you would enjoy me if I was a fucking painter, if I was a janitor, if I was a chef, if I was a librarian. I'd be one of the coolest fucking, oh man, you ever go down to that store and the fucking meat guy, that dude is fucking hilarious. Like, I would be that guy, you know, but it's because I built character, I built me, you know, so work on you, and then whatever you want to do, apply yourself to that. But if you're not solid yourself, good luck on any fucking thing you want to do.
Yes, sir. You know, ultimately, it's the whole real, recognized real aspect of it all, you know, and I agree 100%. And well, so you know, just to close this one out, you know, I just while we're all here, you know, I think that we've learned, you know, this past year especially, you know, we learned that it's always best to give the people, you know, we got love for their roses while they're still here. You know what I mean? I feel like you personally, sir, have done the West Coast very proud, you know, and I may not actually have like roses per se, but one thing that I did want to bring is a token of my appreciation.
Oh shit, this is better than the roses.
You know,
I saw it. I know it well.
It's gonna be a Whole Foods gift card, sir. Because I know, I know where you at.
You know me well, brother.
Yes, sir.
As I tell motherfuckers on my birthday, I was like, man, they're like, what you want? People think, oh man, what do I get the guy? I'm like, man, you give me Whole Foods or fucking Amazon or a gas card.
No, I'll just keep it real with you. I was killing myself trying to think, you know, token appreciation. What guy?
Man.
Oh, thank our brother Jose.
No, that motherfucker.
You know,
trust me, brother. This shit right here, I'm going straight to Whole Foods today. Yeah, no, hello. That's shit. You did that right, brother.
You know, and you know, I just cause like I said, I feel like you've done the West Coast proud. But what, in closing, can I say what about the West Coast are you the most proudest of?
You know what, man? I'm proud of our longevity. I'm proud of our solidarity. I'm proud of our differences, and I'm proud of our similarities, bro. And I love what the city feels like.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? I love how people want to be here, and we are here. Just take more opportunities and take advantage of it more. You know what I'm saying? But I love the melting pot. I've been all over the world, Cal, and there's nothing like Los Angeles, man. When Pac said it wouldn't be LA without Mexicans, that's real shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? The melting pot of people here. Like, I fucking love that, bro. I love what our women look like. I love, like, me and Jose do, we just roll, we just jump out the car because our food is fucking fabulous out here. The weather is the shit out here. For those that blow trees, you know what I'm saying? My second hand contact highs, amazing.
The greatest one, though.
You know what I'm saying? I don't smoke, but oh my God, I know when somebody blowing some Louis around me. You know what I'm saying? But I love being from the West Coast, man. And I love how years gone by, and I miss a lot of that too. I miss cruising.
Yes, sir.
I miss Cadillacs. I miss hydraulics. You know what I'm saying? I miss sensible gang banging. I miss barbecues. Like, there's so much culture here, bro.
Yes, sir.
That other places don't have, man. I fucking love being from the West Coast. I love Los Angeles, bro. And Los Angeles fucked with me. That's why I've never abandoned it. When they wanted me to do a national show, I do a national show, but I do an LA-based show. Exactly. Nationally, you can have that. You can, here goes some recordings. I come on every day live. LA has taken care of me. LA fucks with me. That's why you see me, Cal. I don't roll with security.
Not at all.
Los Angeles is my security. You know what I'm saying? People make sure, bro.
Oh, we love you.
That motherfuckers don't put their hands on me.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? So LA has taken care of me, man. You know what I'm saying?
California love.
Yeah, and that's real shit, bro. Easy call.
Big thank you, sir, for your time, man.
Man, thank you, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Keep doing what you're doing too, though.
When we'll, I'm sure we'll be seeing each other soon.
Maybe not.
I hope so.
Well, maybe not. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I did it all right now. You know what I'm saying?
This was that one thing that you wanted to.
This is it. I remember I was telling Jose, I said, they was like, man, what haven't you done in your career? You got the radio, the award for, what's that shitty ass, well, not shitty ass award, but what's that award, the Radio Hall of Fame award? You got that, not shitty, but you got that.
Yeah.
You got Marconi Awards, just like the Oscars.
True.
You know what I'm saying? You're doing so well. They was like, man, what's that one thing in your career you're missing? And I told them, I said, man, I haven't sat with Cal and did an interview yet. Jason, what was I saying this morning? I was telling him.
Just heard you.
I was saying, dude, I said, man, I haven't sat with Cal.
I think one of the greatest things that Big has taught me is probably that character is what's being said about you when you're not in the room. you know, and because it's very true, you know what I mean. And another thing would probably be more, you know, always be more profit than problems. You know, wherever you're at, make sure that you know, you bring a positive value, you know, to wherever you're at. You know what I mean, and make sure that you know, you know, whatever is being said about you when you're not in the room is of a positive nature. You know, who do you want to be remembered as? Who do you want to be known as? And I think those were probably, you know, some of the greatest things that have ever been taught to me, especially coming from somebody who, you know, who is one of my biggest inspirations. You know, and you know, so I'll always appreciate that free game from him. You know, that wisdom is priceless. So, you know, Big, I just want to say thank you again, sir. Salute.